You're a team business owner and you're vending at events, this tips and tricks video might help you out a bit. What's up? My name's Corey and I'm the program director for CLIC Biz, again based out of Orlando, Florida, organization called the CLIC Community Life Improvement Center for the long way, you heard. And today we're talking about tips on vending for teen businesses. So point number one, I've been to several events over my tenure as an entrepreneur, so I've seen a lot of different displays. So here are just a few tips and tricks to keep in mind as you are venturing out to vend at different events. So vending means tabling. Tabling means you literally set up a table or a booth at an event with the intention to sell your products and services. Okay, just want to add some context there in case you weren't aware of what that is. All right, so first and foremost, tip number one, plan your display. All right, plan your display. What that means is you want to ensure that you have the resources to get the products from your home, your materials from your home to the table, and you're able to set up swiftly. Okay. For me, when it comes to setting up tables at events for CLIC Biz, I ensure that everything I have right now, at least, fits in a duffel bag. So that's my signage, my papers, my containers, and also my candy and any additional resources, pens, etc., tablecloths, all of these things, I ensure that they can fit inside of one duffel bag. For you, if you have more products and services, then you might want to get a wagon with some bins to make sure that all of your items are organized so you can keep track of them. You can set up and break down in a very simple and systematic way. It's just going to overall increase the presence when you get there. Okay, it's just going to make that process much easier to set up and break down. All right, so make sure you're planning your table. Okay, so step number two is tweak the display. That means as you're going out to different events, kind of get some feedback on how things are positioned on the table. Should you elevate your candles with a prop, or should you have them sitting on a table as is? What type of, how can you make your presentation, aka the display of your products and services, stand out? From the tablecloth, what's a striking color that's going to attract them, to the aesthetics. What type of things are you putting on the table in addition to your products and services to create more of a brand experience? Now, I know this young lady, her name is Emma Olivia, and she has a luxury cosmetics brand called Emma Olivia Cosmetics. She has an immaculate display of her products and services. I'll put her link in the description so you can check her out. She's amazing. But once she had spoke for us at an event, she had her table. She had two different colors. I think it was like pink in the front, black in the back. She had rose petals on it, and of course, it made her brand pop, her products pop, because it's brown of lipstick and lip liners and things of that nature. So it fit the theme very well, and it made her product stand out. So that's what I mean by plan or tweak your display. And she has a different setup depending on the environment she's going into to vend and table at, because she wants to ensure that she's attracting the right people to her booth. So again, from how the items are propped on your table, to the signage, to the decorations and decor, the aesthetics, the colors, all of these things, you want to coordinate them as best as you can to create that vibe. Okay, so that's tip number two. Tip number three is plan for one table. Whether you bring your own table or one table is being provided for you, plan for the standard 6-foot vending table, okay? That means bring just enough products to display on the table, and you want to be strategic about what is being displayed. So I've been to a couple of events where there's a lot of different offerings that a company's selling, like jewelry, and then they're selling shirts, and then they're selling something else. You want to try to focus it in and specialize, you want to try to bring those things into focus and highlight a specific aspect or bring attention to a specific product that you're wanting to sell at that event. For example, okay, so let's say that for Kids Biz, we're definitely trying to sell, quote unquote, we're inviting people to our summer program that's coming up, okay? So that means a lot of what our signage and information that's available on our table is going to talk specifically about that summer program or our fall program, which is following up right after that, versus me going in and having my table displayed with all of the different programs that the CLIC offers, Film Academy, CLIC Academy, and CLIC Art. So we're focusing it on one program that we're trying to sell. You want to be that specific and particular when it comes to planning how you're going to set up your table in regards to which products you're going to have, which products you're going to be emphasizing, highlighting, and selling. Now, when you're having the conversation with people as they visit your booth and they're inquiring more about your business, then of course, it's an open playing field and you can let them know about the other things that you sell also. But rule of thumb, you want to go in focused with an intent to sell something that is relevant to the audience or the event that you're participating in, okay? And you want to make sure you're planning for 1 6-foot table, generally across the board, okay? Generally across the board. All right, the other thing that you want to do, tip number 4, is to make sure that your information is easily accessible. Tip number 4, the thing you want to do as well is ensure that your information is easily accessible and that all your links are working appropriately. You know what I mean? So example, if you have an Instagram page and that's where you do most of your communication because you don't want people to have your personal cell phone number, that means for communication, most of what you're saying is, DM me on Instagram or follow my Instagram page or scan the QR code to go to our Instagram page. You know what I mean? Not necessarily focused on the shop because they can have access to it. You're going to tell them how to find it and it's likely linked in your bio, right? Where you're telling them about products and services and where they can gain access to you if they need to ask you questions, right? So they can do research, going through that buyer's journey, so they can do research and get a better understanding of what you sell so that way they can make an informed decision when they're actually going to buy. And if you have an Etsy or an online store, that's only going to complement and drive more traffic to that space, especially if they're starting with a personal interaction at your vending table. So it was kind of tough. It is a little bit embarrassing, I'll go ahead and say that, when you have a QR code and someone scans it and it doesn't work or it goes to the wrong link. I've been there, I'm human. I've done that before, and it creates confusion, right? Around like, okay, wait, am I supposed to be going here? What do I do on this page? It increases the room for confusion, and a lack of clarity means they're losing your business. You're losing them in business, right? So that's 4 tips. And then tip number 5 is make sure you bring change and genuinely engage with people, okay? If you are flustered, right? It's okay to be flustered, but you want to try to have your talking points prepared in regards to the questions you may encounter when you're tabling at events, because you're going to be interacting with, most cases, total strangers, and in some cases, bonus tip, try to bring at least one person with you if ever possible. You want to train them, meaning just put them up on game on how to express your business, how to talk about your brand, and how to direct them to find more information or learn more about your business, okay? I do this very often. Whenever I go to an event, I try my best to bring one extra person. It just makes it easier to flow with information, and it doesn't make the work as overwhelming. Plus, they can act as a rover, or you can be a rover. Y'all can exchange roles to make the most of the opportunity that is in that room. So a rover is someone who goes out into the community, means step away from the table and engages with people and encourage them to come back to your booth. That can be something that you do, or you can switch shifts with the other people. But that overall is going to increase the amount of visits that you get and potentially bring more dollars to your table as well, okay? Other tips and tricks to keep in mind, like try to keep it fun. You can have candy depending on where you're going. If it's kids, you can have incentives if you're working with adults, teens. All of these things you can do as well. But those 4 tips plus the bonus is what I would recommend if you're going to be tabling at events, especially if it's your first time, setting that strategy so that way you can have an effective experience and earn some money while you're tabling at events. So, all right, that's going to be a wrap for these tips and trips on vending at events for teen businesses. Make sure you like and subscribe, and feel free to submit topic suggestions in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.